Hello, everyone, and welcome to ETRailShow 2024. And I'm joined by Mr. Ashok Lavasa, the former Finance Secretary of India. Thank you, sir, for joining us here. A couple of quick questions to you. First question is on PPP. That how can railways augment its PPP projects, because that I believe is a way to boost its non-GBS part of the capex.
Thank you very much for asking this question. I think it's very important to understand that railways, for its growth and development, and for providing all the facilities which both the passengers and other users require, will need a lot of capital investment. And it is a clear case that government will not be able to provide this capital by itself. So we need to raise resources from the market. The good thing is that in the market, there is a lot of capital which is waiting to be employed in viable projects. So the challenge is A, whether they are viable projects, and B, whether we are able to structure them in a way that private sector confidence is built. Public private partnership has gone through a history, checkered history in India for about 3 decades. It has been successfully tried in other sectors, and there is no reason why it cannot be done in railways. Now, what is required to be done? The fundamental thing in public private partnership is that it is a partnership which is long term. It is not the relationship between a contractor and the person who is giving out the contract. So it is a public, government, private, investor, management practices, partnership for the commercial interest of the project for the duration of the concession. So the key thing to be done is whether you are able to conceive your project in a way that it has a decent revenue stream. Number two, if there is a shortfall in revenue stream, whether you can create a financial mechanism which gives a gap funding. Number three, which is more important than both these, whether your documentation is done in a way where there is a fair apportionment of risks. Take it from me, no private sector is willing to take open-ended risk. Similarly, government should also not commit itself to any open-ended risks. So if you are able to design documents which are judicious, rational, and balanced, I think it will be possible for us to attract private sector. We've already had some successful cases in the railways itself. So why not? And those documents are quite robust. So similarly, what has worked in other sectors, I think we should try and see if it can be fitted into the railway model.
Right. So, sir, you talked about risk, which is financial risk. Now, I'm talking about human risk now, which is security. While traveling. So, we passengers, when we step into railways, we at least we have this in our minds that we'll reach safely. But once there is an accident, we talk about security. Then we forget about it. It gets into the goes into the back burner. What do you think is really needed to push this agenda of putting priority to security measures and for railway passengers?
One thing, of course, is that it should be on top of the priorities for the government. Because no matter how successful you are as a service provider, no matter how modern your services are, I think safety is a concern which can brook no compromise whatsoever. So, what do you do? Technically, there are possibilities, there are systems which are in place which have to be employed. Now, there are two things about technology. One is the cost, the other is the reliability. I'm sure there are people better than me who understand what these technologies are. The railways itself has been employing many of these technologies on various systems. So it is not as if that we have to reinvent the wheel, number one. Number two is that there is sufficient apportionment of funds and it should be used. Number three is that I think we need to very carefully consider what have been the recommendations of the Commissioner of Railway Safety in all cases that have taken place. Unfortunately for us, even while a lot of things are going for the Indian Railways and a lot of growth is taking place, but unfortunately the rate of accidents, as revealed by the data of CIS, has also shown an increase. And even one accident is bad enough to ruin your image and reduce the confidence of people. So I think if you look at the CRS data and see the action taken report on the CRS recommendations, that itself would be very revealing. Now, I know Railways as an organization has its own compulsions, but whatever compulsions they have, safety is something which should receive the topmost
Great. Thank you so much, Mr. Lavasa, for joining us, sir. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
priority. Thank you.